when visiting flower shows, there's a wealth of information in terms of planting, and you can see specific plants. Here we see Japanese maple, which is a favorite of Japanese gardens, of course, Acer palmatum, and Zen gardens, and island gardens. It's also a good specimen plant, just a plunk on a front lawn. And of course, fountains if you're going to build a room. See some agapanthus. I noticed the flower shows lately, and it's becoming very popular in a lot of gardens, is the use of tropical plants as well. And as Glenn Stokes reminded me, they're used as annuals now in many gardens. And of course, they're used as patio pieces as well. You actually see a poinsettia here in a pot. Some primrose, which is a very early blooming plant, prefers colder temperatures. So, of course, that's an easy one. We see some little fescue plants there as well. And some pines and hyacinth, pink hyacinth, or early blooming pink hyacinth, which is pretty easy to force for flower shows and garden shows. And then the interesting patio work that we have here with the used brick and cement. And it's framed, of course. You need to do that as well when you put in any walk. And some interesting stonework here with a little moss. I often recommend moss for people who have difficulty growing grass. Certainly easier to maintain than a lawn, requires no fertilizer, and as the shade increases, where it usually occurs, the moss increases, gets healthier. And I have a friend whose front yard is completely moss and broadleaf evergreens and other plants that grow so well in the shade. Here we see some calathea. Again, a tropical plant that's becoming very popular in gardens. And other plants as well, as a close-up. Orchids, of course, they're getting more and more popular for a garden piece. And of course, the moss, as I said, grows in the shade, but you need filtered light outdoors and cooler temperatures for the orchids to bring the flowers. Here we see some peperomia in the background and a cast iron plant to our left there. This is the peperomia, which is not yet in bloom, but will produce a flower outdoors. But again, that's another plant that requires cooler temperatures to bring the flower. So you get a great deal of information, I think, a lot of ideas from flower shows. And if you have questions, of course, there's usually somebody standing by to answer those questions for you. So get to your flower shows. They're all over. Go to Boston, Chicago, Philly. Even one in Coronado, outside San Diego, under the tents. I love flower shows. I love greenhouses in the winter.